Good evening, everyone. For those that regularly watch the Media Borough Council meetings, I'm sure you're aware that President Hall is not here this evening, and he is on vacation, and Councilman Boyer is also on vacation. So, good, bad, you are stuck with me this evening, and with that, we will start the August meeting of the Media Borough Council. Will everyone please rise and salute the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, as it's been now referenced in the house cleaning items, there is 3 minutes in which need to be approved. The chair would entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the July 2nd, 2014 workshop meeting minutes. There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion with regards to the minutes? Hearing none, make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted. All those say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Make a motion, or I'd ask that there be a motion to be made for the July 17th public hearing meeting minutes.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the public hearing minutes of July 17th, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Last but not least, the July 17th, 2014 Borough Council minutes. The chair would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Now we are at our public comment and privilege of the floor. Anyone in the audience that wishes to address council, please come to the microphone, state your name and address, and your comment and or commitment or question to the council.
Good evening. My name is Sam Bernhardt. I'm the Pennsylvania organizer for Food and Water Watch, and my address is 1168 East Passyunk Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I'm not a media resident, but I'm really happy to be here tonight to, as the council considers our resolution in support of the federal legislation to ban subtherapeutic antibiotics in factory farms. I just wanted to thank the council for considering this resolution. It's a really important issue for our country and for the world. Antibiotic resistance is really a huge looming public health crisis. We're running out of drugs that work, and that's really scary for us, for our families. And one of the main drivers of that problem is overuse of antibiotics in factory farms. 80% of our antibiotics usage in this country is in the agriculture industry, and it's generally for animals that don't need the drugs. So Food and Water Watch believes that we should be saving these drugs for our families, for people, for when they need them. At this rate, it's not going to be that long until we run out of them. And so I want to cut myself off, and I'm sure you heard a bunch from Sarah Mandela at your previous meeting, but if you have any questions as you're considering the resolution, I'm here to take them. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Anybody else wishes to address council? Please rise, come to the microphone, state your name and address, and your issue or concern.
Hi, I'm Patricia Osimo. My address is the whole address? Or
You can just give your city.
Wallingford.
Okay.
Wallingford, Pennsylvania. And I'm here to request the Borough Council endorse the statement that says about reducing the animal feed antibiotics so that we have healthier foods to eat. I have a sort of a background in nutrition and all, and it's like I'm just if we could just get back to the old basics, it would be unbelievable. So I'm not hoping for that necessarily, but I am looking to have our foods be healthier. And, I was shocked when I saw the statistic that said 2 million people get sick and then 26,000 die because their bodies are not responding to the antibiotics because it's already been in their food. So with that, that's my request. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you. I guess that will be it for this evening. We'll move on to our agenda items. Engineers report.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll give a quick, brief summary. I'll hit the big items. Road resurfacing. We've provided a notice to proceed to Sucre to start on the roads. That they have an intention of being in here mid to late September to do the roads, which are already selected. Go through some traffic items. There was a meeting with PennDOT concerning pedestrian crossing of Baltimore Pike. We prepared a letter, and we've been in contact with PennDOT about that. We still are waiting to hear back from PennDOT about doing some different patterns for the crosswalks and the asphalt across Baltimore Avenue. We've not heard back from them on that item. State Street, there was 2 items on that. One was the pedestrian timing, which we went to PennDOT, got approval to change the pedestrian timing. Secondly, was to put the light on flash for events, which the police can do. Right now, it's on red on State and yellow on Orange. That will change. We soon change to be red on both directions once PennDOT has given us the signed new traffic signal plans. Parking garage. Hopefully, everybody understands that the top deck is now open. They are working on the middle deck and the lower deck, and they are scheduled to be completed and open. I'll just say September 2nd, I think, is the date that they gave me, which is on the schedule. I do need to meet with Mr. Smith to go through some items that were emailed to me later this afternoon on some minor details. I've also been completing it's not on this report, but 235 East Jefferson, completing that for final plan approval. There were some minor items. The NPDES plan and the soil erosion permit were approved, so they should be coming in shortly for Borough Council's approval.
Any questions to the engineer? I would like to thank you. As you know, I was one of the ones that was very nervous with regards to the parking garage, and was actually encouraging that we do it we split it between 2 years. I'm very glad to see that everything's on schedule, and I'm quite sure that the residents and the businesses are looking forward to when all 3 levels are open again. So kudos to you and the contractor. Weather has been pretty good to us this year, but we've had our fair share of rain, so I'm glad we're able to get through it.
Yeah, once they completed the 3rd deck, that became a roof, so it's watertight. If you go around and notice, they've done some exterior marking to start repair of the landscape planters, the brick planters. Some of them get demoed, some of them just get pointed. So they're in the process of doing some of the exterior marking. So once they get done the interior, with a certain amount of crews, they'll be starting to do the exterior, which will run beyond the September 2nd, but all the parking spaces in the garage will be available.
I think everyone at this table is only concerned about making sure that the parking spots are open up. We can worry about planters anytime. So, again, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Solicitor,
Thank you. I do not have a report tonight.
I like those kind of reports. We're on to the mayor.
Good evening. I have a report tonight.
Good.
Attached, everyone will find a log of complaints, 684 complaints during the month of July. There were 3 separate burglaries reported during the month. All remain open investigations. Attached are all the burglaries. Now I'm going to summarize a couple. There's 3. It's unusual. We haven't had that in 10 years. Exactly. So I'm going to summarize them. I already talked about it at the workshop, and I'll just quickly. Borough Police on 7/8. Actually, I mentioned this at the last meeting. But it's just a reminder. Yeah, I already went over this, but when someone's going around asking for someone and they're going door to door to door, and it looks suspicious, call the police. Call 911 right now. That's my advertising for 911. So I didn't go over that last month, but it's just a reminder of that. 7/24, the police responded to a report of commercial burglary. There was a value, looks to me like $4,000 worth of laptops that were stolen. And here's the entries made through an open rear office window, therefore the actors have to be relatively thin or flexible. So burglary occurred on 7/23, and the police department also responded to Broomwalls Lake, 403 West 3rd Street, for a report of burglary on the same day, same night. This burglary occurred,
Reported several days later.
yeah, it was reported several days later. Right? So the value there was, looks like almost $2,000. So again, unusual month, so keep an eye out. Residents are reminded to secure their homes, cars, bicycles, sheds, garages, and other items of value. It's the summer, and sometimes people are active in going around taking things. And call 911, any suspicions? I don't really have anything else. Shining on the Stars was a good Wednesday night, not quite what it was the last two Wednesdays, but worked out pretty well, so I hear.
With regard to the burglary, I think we're all confident that, with Media PD, as they like to say, the actor will eventually be caught. We're pretty good at that.
Or actors.
Or actors, the fancy words. So
That's it.
that's it. I would like to personally thank the mayor for being part of a very special occasion. Last Saturday, my son was married, and Bob was the official only person that could make sure that it was legal in the state of Pennsylvania. So, Bob, we have our differences, but you're like a brother. We've been working together for 20 years, and I truly appreciate you being there and doing what you did at that very important time in my family's life.
First of all, I'd like to remind you, it's 22 years.
22 years.
And it may seem like 20. And I think I commented to you, it was one of the best organized weddings, and I had performed 71 of them. So,
And you do like organization.
yeah, I do like it. It was great. It was a great place that I'd never been. It was beautiful. Bride and groom were, I won't say both beautiful, but James picked them. But it was really tremendous.
Well, I want to thank you. With that, we'll go into council committee reports. As everyone is aware, Mr. Boyer is on a well-deserved vacation. So with regards to recreation, anyone who is interested in finding out what's going on with regards to recreation, I would encourage you just to go to the Media Borough website. Everything that is going on is there. I am confident in saying if there are any health concerns and or issues prior to Councilman Boyer leaving for vacation, he would have notified us. Mr. Smith, anything that we should be, okay, that's all I wanted to make sure of. With that, we'll go on to Historic Archives, or I'm sorry, Historic and Media Business Authority. Ms. Johnson.
Can I say something about recreation?
Yes.
Just a plug, the Recreation Board is a main sponsor of the concert series in the Glen Providence Park, and they're having their final concert on September 6th, Saturday, from 4:30 to 6, with the Vivace Strings. It's a quartet, string quartet. It's free. Weather will be perfect. So come out and enjoy the park, Glen Providence Park. It's on the west end of town, and listen to the music. So to move on to my reports, for Harb, they were on vacation this month, so no meeting, nothing to report. The Historic Society is on vacation this month, no meeting, nothing to report. The NBA, I was on vacation, so I missed the meeting. But I did hear from them that they wanted me to mention that Bastille Day and the car show were raging successes, and they're currently working on an event with the Wallingford Arts Center, and the NBA is expecting to have another restaurant week like we did in March. It turned out to be pretty successful in October, so they're working on those things. And that's all I have.
Short agendas tonight. Moving on to myself, Properties, Public Safety, Public Works, and Civil Service. Number one on the agenda is to ratify a settlement agreement for with the police department and the insurance company. This settlement really is between our carrier and a third party. There is no out-of-pocket cost with regards to the borough. So with that, I make a motion, we ratify the insurance settlement as referenced with our solicitor at workshop. Anything to add?
I would just add, just for the minutes, the case name is DeGangi versus the Borough. I think
Thank
that's-
you.
Just so we know which one we're talking about.
I'll amend my motion to reflect that.
D-I, capital G-A-N-G-I, V Borough.
So there's a motion on the table, is there a second?
Second.
I hear a second, is there any discussion regarding the motion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of approving the ratifying the police insurance settlement, please say aye.
Yes.
All those opposed, please say nay. The motion carries.
Thank you. Second on the agenda is to authorize the advertisement for a request for proposal with regards to the creation of a borough-wide stormwater management plan. We are very, very fortunate that with the hard work of Karen, our grants writer, that we were able to obtain, and I'm not going to know the exact dollar, but I'm going to say $125,000 ballpark.
Yep.
To do a stormwater management study for the entire borough. Due to the fact that we are a old, well-established community, one, elected officials and did not think of stormwater issues back in 1865. We now have to think of them, and it's fantastic that we will be able to have funding to put together a program that we will see where we need or where we do have issues and what we will need to do to resolve them. It is actually my hope that sometime in the foreseeable future that the borough may look into actually creating a stormwater management authority, which is not uncommon with some of the older municipalities. So I make a motion that I would ask that a motion be made, or I would make a motion that we advertise the request for proposal for the creation of a borough-wide stormwater improvement plan.
So there's a motion on the table, is there a second?
Second.
Is there a discussion regarding the motion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of authorizing the advertisement of a RFP for the creation of a borough-wide stormwater improvement plan, please say aye.
Yes.
All those opposed, please say nay. Motion carries.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, and I believe this is at the request of the solicitor. I was not at our workshop meeting, but I assume this is kind of just like a housekeeping measure.
Yes, it's been suggested that the park be closed during construction. I think council's the body to do that.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Fine, then I'd make a motion, we authorize the closing of Hooten Park during the construction. The construction time period is estimated to be between August 25th and November 25th. So that is in the form of a motion.
There's a motion on the table, is there a second?
Second.
All right, is there any discussion regarding the motion? Hearing no discussion, I'll call the question. All those in favor of authorizing the closing of Houghton Park during construction, please say aye.
Yes.
All those opposed, please say nay. Motion carries.
Fantastic. Next on the agenda is I am going to make a motion that we approve the installation of a water service for the parking garage located at Olive Street. I guess 30 years ago, that was one of the items that the council did not consider. When considering we are now doing close to $1 million worth of renovation, installing a water system so that we can go in, hose down the garage when we do have the salt, which the salt was the number one enemy of the garage. This is really, again, another housekeeping matter that's just regarding the cost because it was not something that we anticipated. So I would make a motion that we approve the cost to create and put in a water service at the Olive Street parking garage.
There's a motion on the table, is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion regarding the motion?
I have a question. Can you remind me the cost?
Minimal. No, I don't.
It's like $5,000.
I mean, Aqua is doing the work, it's just really having the plumber, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Smith, a licensed plumber to come in and put in the bid,
Meter pit and bid, it's $3,800.
There you
Okay,
go.
thank you.
Which I think is money well spent, so hopefully we won't have to spend $1 million another 30 years.
Right.
Is there any other discussion regarding the motion?
Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of approving the creation of water service to the Olive Street parking garage, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. The motion carries.
Next on the agenda comes our mass gathering permits. I make a motion that we approve the mass gathering permit for Media Elementary School's Welcome Back to the School Picnic, Friday, September 5th, 2014. If you're looking for exact details, you'll have to hold on. Setup is 4:30, event is 6 o'clock, event stop time is 8 o'clock, final breakdown would be 8:30 to 9. It's really only closing Edgemont Street from State Street to Front Street. That's in the form of a motion.
The motion on the table, do I hear a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion regarding the motion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of approving the mass gathering permit for Media Elementary School Welcome Back to School Picnic on Friday, September 5th, please say aye.
Yes.
All opposed, please say nay. The motion carries.
Next on the agenda is a mass gathering permit for Ariana's Restaurant, second annual community movie night, which will be held Thursday, September 18th, 2014. This is at Olive Street. Setup time would be time request is from 7 to 11. Event would be 8 o'clock. Event stop time would be 10:30. Breakdown would be 11. This is from Olive Street, from Baker to State Street. And that is in the form of a motion.
There's a motion on the table. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion regarding the motion?
I was not at workshop. It is my intent to vote no against this. I think this is something that we need to take a look at. This is strictly servicing a single establishment. I think we would need to set a policy because I am concerned that by approving this one mass gathering permit, we would have a difficult time that when the next establishment located in our business district comes in, that we would not really have any reason or rationale not to say yes to them. So this could end up being an ongoing event for any establishment located within the borough. So, just my position.
I have a different view, pardon me. Last year was the first year they did it. There were several people, I was there, that went by and said, gee, we didn't know about this. This is great. I think it worked out well last year, although the crowd could have been better. I don't think they publicized it like they should have, or you wouldn't have people saying that. The owners of that business are always trying new things. Some of them work, a lot of them work, sometimes they don't, but they're at least always trying new things, and I think this is one that has potential. I'm not saying it will absolutely work, but it worked out well last year, just under-publicized.
I just want to say, for the clarification, it's not, I have no issue with the event itself. I just get concerns that once we set a precedence that a business can come in and ask to close down the street or sections of the street for their business, we're going to have a difficult time denying another business that comes in.
Well, we'd have to weigh them as they come in.
And that's where I have a hard time figuring out who you can say yes to and who you can say no to.
I can certainly help with that.
I know, but that's where I question the fair and level playing field with that. So,
Paul, my comment around that is I think it makes a difference the location. So the fact that they're on a side street as opposed to State Street, I think makes a difference.
so they get the benefit because they're on a side street.
Well, they're not.
I mean,
The community gets the benefit.
okay. We will agree to disagree.
Is there any further discussion regarding the motion?
I move that we accept this.
You said you want a second, or that's essentially
Second.
a second, okay. Hearing no further discussion, I'll call the question. All those in favor of approving the mass gathering permit application for Ariana's Restaurant's second annual community movie night on Thursday, September 18th, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
The motion carries 4-1.
Next on the list is the mass gathering permit for the Veterans Legacy Veterans Day Parade, Tuesday, November 11th, 2014. I am making an assumption that it's going to be starting at 11.
11/11, and I would vote for this one.
And I would too. This has been a great event. It is probably the most recognized event the media has. And I think it's fantastic, so that is in the form of a motion.
There's a motion on the table. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Was there any discussion regarding the motion? All right, hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of approving the mass gathering permit application for Veterans Day Parade on Thursday, November 11th, please say aye.
Yes.
All opposed, please say nay. Motion carries unanimously.
Last on my agenda is to amend the mass gathering permit for the Media Business Authority for dining under the stars, which are held on Wednesdays, which will go from now until the end of September. Their original permit reflected a start time of 5 o'clock. Due to several issues, the authority is now wishing to amend their permit to reflect 4 o'clock. And that is in the form of a motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
There's a second. Is there any discussion regarding the motion?
Yeah. So they want to start what time now?
4 o'clock.
That's set up. They're not coming down on this, they're not going to start serving dinner until 5.
Oh,
That stays the same. But in
okay.
order to set up earlier, they need an earlier time.
Okay.
And part of the discussion, I think it is important that it be stated to the authority that now that it is 4 o'clock, it is 4 o'clock. Because last week, before the application was even submitted, there were tables and chairs blocking the sidewalk at 3:25. And I get concerned that even before it was approved, that 4 o'clock is now going to be 2 o'clock and before you, so. And with that, I would also encourage in the foreseeable future that we ask members of the business authority to attend the public safety committee meeting to clear up some of the safety issues with regards to the event.
So Paul, when does the street close? What time?
Still 5.
Five.
Well, the street will close at 5. I'm assuming that they're doing this so that they can have no parking from 4 o'clock on. Their original application reflected 5 o'clock,
Right.
and they were trying to enforce traffic for parking at 4 o'clock when it wasn't part of the permit.
Okay, I got you.
But again, it's that slippery slope, and if we give it an hour, is it going to have every 2 hours? So
All right, well, I'll mention it at the next meeting.
truly appreciate it. And that was in the form of a motion, Mr. Chair.
So we have a motion on the table. I think we have a second already.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is there any further discussion? All right, I'll call the question. All those in favor of amending the mass gathering permit application by the Media Business Authority Dining Under the Stars on Wednesday from May through September to amend the time to start at 4 p.m., please say aye.
Yes.
Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Motion carries. Did you want to make a comment?
Well, I thought that is for 4 o'clock is for setup only.
Yes.
Correct.
I think it needs to be
All
set
right,
up.
let me,
Well, that's what
I
the
think
permit reflects.
for the record, we'll say the setup time is 4, we'll amend it to be the setup time is 4 o'clock. Can Joanne make sure that's in the minutes, please? Thank you very much.
Just a quick statement that again, with the fire company, I encourage anybody who's able to watch this, that they're interested in serving on the Media Borough or Media Fire Company, to stop by the firehouse. I say it every month, we can use firefighters or we can use administrative people. Please stop by. For the month of June, Media had 20 calls, 16 of them were actually mutual aid, and in the month of July, they had Media Borough 20 calls and mutual aid 16 calls for June, and in July, in Media Borough, we had 17 calls and mutual aid of 28 calls. So again, we're an active department serving not just the borough, but our regional community, and anyone interested, please come out. That concludes my report. Thank you. And moving on to Finance, Technology, Library, and Environmental, Councilman Davidson.
Brian's?
Oh, I apologize. I understand that.
Once he's not here,
Well, out of sight, out of mind. And he's got a big agenda. And I do apologize. With Brian out on vacation, Councilman Amy Johnson has volunteered to step in the president's shoes. Councilman Johnson.
Thanks.
Councilperson Johnson.
Okay, so number 1 on the agenda, I'd like to make a motion to approve the hiring of Tom Committa for assistance with the review of our land use and zoning ordinance in connection with development proposals on West Palmer Pike in the amount not to exceed $5,000.
I'll second that.
Okay.
That's right, yeah, I'm sorry, back to chair again, I do apologize. Do you want a second?
Oh, sorry, I'll second again.
Motion is made and seconded regarding authorizing the hiring of Thomas Committa and Associates to assist with zoning ordinances, particularly pertaining to the Baltimore Pike area, if I'm not mistaken, Councilwoman? Okay.
Yes.
Correct. There's been a motion that's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, number 2, regarding the resolution supporting statewide and national ban on non-therapeutic uses of antibiotics in animal food. As we heard Mr. Bernhardt's, what he had to say about, the health and the safety of humans, antibiotics on factory farms, the misuse of antibiotics on factory farms to treat animals that are not sick has contributed to the rise of antibiotic-resistant bacteria that is threatening public health. So, to adopt this resolution, media will be one of the first cities in the country to take a stand against this. I think Pittsburgh and Westchester
Are the other two in
Yes.
Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
It'll be the 15th of October.
Yes. So I'd like to make a motion to adopt the resolution in support of this statewide and national ban on non-therapeutic uses of antibiotics in animal food.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to support the statewide and national ban on non-therapeutic use of antibiotics in animal food by resolution 2014-13. Is there any discussion on the motion?
I'd like to just make a quick comment. I personally have suffered, family members of mine have actually suffered from issues with bacteria that is antibiotic resistant in hospitals, and so I personally will be voting in favor of this because I believe it's a big problem that needs to be resolved, and this motion and this resolution will hopefully send a small message that media supports the removal of antibiotics from animal food.
Councilwoman Dixon, raise your hand up.
I'm sorry.
You had your hand up?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted to discuss it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Hold on, just gotta take a water. Okay, so number 3, authorizing Schnabel Engineering Larson Design Group to proceed with the design of the 3rd Street Dam Bridge project. So I'd like to make a motion that we instruct our engineers to resume their work on the dam that will carry a 2-lane, 2-way road and pedestrian level area to the minimum specifications allowed by PennDOT.
Motion is made. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Motion is made and second. Is there any discussion with regards to the motion? And just briefly, this is a long time moving. This is something that we've been required to do. We will do it as required. And so I will entertain a motion that all those in favor of approving or authorizing the Schnabel Engineering and Larson Design Group to proceed with the design of the 3rd Street Dam project as referenced, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Number 4, regarding the zoning hearing board application for 220 North Edgemont Street. The residents of this home are wanting some space for outdoor living and are wanting to put a front porch on. Council would like to make 2 conditions for the porch. One, the concrete pad that the porch will sit on we ask that there be some sort of aesthetic surface like brick, just for aesthetic purposes. And number 2, rather than 10 feet deep, we ask for 8 feet, which would be less intrusive and allow for non-permeable space, preventing more runoff than is already happening on Edgemont Street. So the Planning Commission has unanimously voted that council not oppose, and so we choose to not send our solicitor. So this wouldn't be in the form of a motion, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I do have one question for the solicitor. Due to the fact that, and again, I was not at workshop, that we are asking for conditions, should we make a motion
I think so.
to have some sort of a communications from you or from our
Yeah.
code enforcement officer?
I think you should have a motion to submit a letter to the zoning hearing board with
Then I-
those two conditions.
I would help you out here and
Okay.
ask that you make a motion to authorize our solicitor to forward a letter to our zoning hearing board to reflect that the concrete pad should be done with aesthetic taste, and that the porch in which their application reflected 10 feet be changed to that of 8 feet.
So what you say?
Motion's been made, is there a second to that?
I second that.
Okay, so the motion has been made that we authorize our solicitor to draft and forward a letter to our zoning hearing board that will request the applicant to make the concrete pad aesthetically pleasing, and also to change the dimensions of the porch from a depth of 10 feet to that of 8 feet. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
That concludes my report.
Outstanding, great job. Councilman Davidson, Finance, Technology, Library, and Environmental.
Thank you, Vice President Robinson. First order of business is the payment of bills for the month of July. I therefore make a motion that we approve payment of bills for the month of July in the following amounts. From the general fund, $266,871.56. From the recreation fund, $6,957.88. No funds from liquid fuels. And from the capital fund, $192,913.43 for a grand total of $466,742.87. I make a motion that we approve bills as submitted.
Motion's been made, is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to approve the bills for the month of July 2014. All those in favor of paying for the bills as stated by Councilman Davidson, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Next up is what's called the mid-year budget update. This is where mid-year we get recommendations from the staff as well as from council in terms of changing of line items so that we have a balanced budget. All council has the mid-year budget update document. It's a spreadsheet which shows various changes to the budget, and again, it is a balanced budget. So unless there's any questions, I would like to make a motion that we approve the mid-year budget update as Resolution 2014-12.
Motion is made, is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to pass Resolution 2014-12 with regards to amending or changing reflections to our mid-year budget update. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Yes. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. So I have no news from technology. We did not meet last month. Environmental Advisory Committee also does not meet in August, so no news there. For Finance and Library, actually, we did have a meeting last week where we met with the library to discuss. They have asked the borough for significant funding for us to help fund their project. We had a discussion among the finance group on Tuesday this week, and we will then also be discussing this same request next workshop. So I would encourage any members of the public who are either for or against the borough helping the library to fund their renovation project to attend our workshop first Thursday next month and let us know what you think. Other than that, I think that's all I have to report.
Two quick questions regarding environmental, if you might be able to help me. You probably will not be able to have the answers right now, but the rain garden and the herb gardens, who is responsible for maintaining those gardens?
I believe it's the AAC.
I just noticed the rain garden has a tree, and I don't know if that's something that they really want
Okay.
in there.
I'll bring it up.
So, and it's one of those things where, to be candid, as chair of Public Works, the highway guys don't want to get near those things because they're afraid they're going to get yelled at.
Okay.
So, cool, thanks.
Just a side note there, the EAC also did receive a grant from our Exceptional Grants Administrator, Karen Tosick-Lux, to improve the signage for the rain gardens. So that should be coming soon as well, but I'll bring that up to the EAC.
I mean, I think they're great, but I mean, one reason I brought it up is one of them is a mulberry tree, which I had a problem with. That one year it looks like a stick, and the next year it looks like an oak tree. And I'm afraid also it's going to get to the point where it's going to be ridiculous. So if we can,
Can't be any worse than that, though, right?
yeah, you're absolutely right. That'll be next month.
Anyway, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilwoman Johnson, Farmers Market, Fair Trade, and Shade Tree.
Okay, nothing to report on Shade Tree this month. The farmer's market was bustling today. April White was there today promoting and signing her book, Philadelphia Chef's Table. She's a local food writer for Philadelphia Magazine, and her book shares recipes with recipes from over 50 Philadelphia top chefs. So if you missed her today, her books are still for sale at the market for the next couple weeks, and they would make a great gift. Also, don't forget to visit Media Farmers Market website. They have weekly recipes posted every week, as well as highlights on all the individual vendors. Fair Trade is selling bananas at the Media Farmers Market. Fair Trade bananas every other week. And our town is definitely become a tourist attraction. They posted over a dozen seniors from Philadelphia came to tour the town as the first Fair Trade town, and also some of the committee members of Fair Trade hosted for a week-long stay a family from Garstang, which is another Fair Trade city in the UK. So just some fun facts. I have a very short report. It's done.
Well, you were able to make up with Brian, so it was good. Councilwoman Dixon, Public Relations and Historical Archives.
The public relations is still being handled by the mayor, thank goodness.
Really?
And the historical archives are also doing the vacation of office. But I do have to report that this very small committee, because right now there's only 3 members who are available for work. And it's a tiny group that this is a humongous group job, and one of those people is recently hospitalized and today went through double bypass surgery. So Pat Neiman, we're thinking of you, my dear, and knowing and wanting you to get better real quick. That's it. That's my report.
I think that goes from all members of council and all of the Media Borough community. So I'm sure Pat will do better. That concludes your report. We get to the fun part once again, public comment and privilege of the floor. Anyone wishing to address council, please rise, state your name and address. Going once, going twice. I would entertain a motion to adjourn and to look at the time. Adjourn.